What's going on, everybody? I'm so sorry that I messed up and missed my Throwback Thursday yesterday uh, topic. But what I'm gonna do is do it a little different. We're gonna do a Fallback Friday today. But as you see in the title, what I want to talk to you about is a statement that was always heard, that I always heard people say, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And so when I look at that, I have to think, I say, well, who are the Joneses? And it's funny because in relations to my name being Edwards, I am a Jones because my grandmother on my father's side maiden name was Jones. So I said, well, maybe people are trying to keep up with me and my family. But then what I said is I had to get to the bottom of where that statement came from. And so I asked some of my older mentors and older people who I talked to, and they all came up with similar conclusions about what the topic or what the title or what the statement of keeping up with the Joneses really meant. But let me tell you why I missed yesterday's Throwback Thursday. So I'm thinking, wow, these Throwback Thursday things are working pretty well. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw some props into it. And so I was driving around and I ended up going by. I met this guy and he told me to stop by his dealership and there's some exotic cars. And so what I'm doing is I said, okay, I'm gonna throw a prop in there to sort of highlight the story. And so what I did, the guy has a BMW i8 in the showroom, and I said, well, could I do my Throwback Thursday in front of that BMW i8? And could I get in and out that BMW i8 and show people that this is what keeping up with the Joneses looks like? And he said, absolutely. He says, because then it's going to bring publicity to my store. It's going to bring publicity to the car. It's going to do a lot of things. Roy, he said, I just see that in you. I said, absolutely. There's no other way for you to understand it but to say absolutely. So this is my story and I'm sticking to it. So he's teaching me how to open up the doors. So the butterfly doors on the BMW i8 are electronically controlled and you can touch the handle or something and they go up. And so I'm trying to learn that before I start this video. And so me being me, I'm trying to get an angle and not realizing that I did something that made the door come down without me being aware. And so what happens? My hand gets caught in the door, right? So I'm like trying to play it off and he says, is everything okay? And my hand's caught in the door and I'm trying to figure out how could I get this door off my hand, but the angle for which the door had caught my hand, I couldn't turn to actually get the door off my hand. And so the crazy thing is that the locking mechanism was on my thumb. I want you all to see my thumb. Can you see my thumb? You see the locking mechanism was on my thumb. And so every time I tried to open the door, the locking mechanism kept digging into my thumb to open the door. And finally we got the door open. And so there was no way possible that I was going to do a Throwback Thursdays in the pain that I was in. Now, we laughed about it. I told him, I said, what he needs to do is let me hold the car at least for the weekend, based on the fact that the car attacked me. And, we just chalked it up to maturity. But one of the things that I was doing was saying, this is what happens when you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and you're only who you are. And so I asked people, I said, well, where did this myth come from, keeping up with the Joneses? I said, was it the, especially for African Americans, was it the largest plantation and that name carried over? And so people who were Joneses sort of were the African Americans or the families who were the most affluent in the time that this document or this statement might have came up. And so people had told me, go look at it. So what I did is research the name. And one of the things that I found out was that it was just an old English saying. So people said it was just an old English saying, keeping them with the Joneses. The next thing they said was that it was Jones Street is a very beautifully architecturally designed street in Savannah, Georgia. So that could be it. They said there's another thing. There was a mansion that was owned by Elizabeth Jones in the 1850s. And so they said it could have came from there. The most popular one, though, was a comic strip by Arthur Pop Momond. And he sort of talked about a family who lived on a particular street, and also everybody wanted to keep up with the family next door, who were the Joneses. And then the other thing was that they said it was the Wilmington family of Pembroke and Sarah Jones, who used to have 1,000 guests in the early 1884s, that also had a house that was so massive that when they took the picture, you couldn't see the house in both clips. You had to take several pictures for you to see the full house. So they said keeping them with the Joneses was a statement that just came out of being affluent, you know, and so I guess it carried on. And so then I said, well, was the Jones name the most popular name in the country? And so when I looked up the census report, see, I'm doing a lot of work to make this story reality. And so when I looked at the census, it was the most popular name until the last census in 2010, and it fell from first to fifth, replaced by the last name of Smith. So if your last name is Smith now, based on the census, everybody's trying to keep up with the Smiths. But what I really want to talk about is, what does that mean, keeping up with the Joneses? I just always ask people, why don't you establish keeping up with what your last name is? Why don't you establish a foundation of excellence and have people follow that blueprint, instead of trying to say, well, I'm not doing as well as the Joneses? You probably don't even know any Joneses. And if you do know some Joneses, you don't even know what state, especially how you're comparing it to success, they may be in, right? So there's a few things that I want you to think about when you say, I'm keeping up with the Joneses, right? Think about what causes you to react, right, to the Joneses' influence or their actions. What are the Joneses doing that you should be doing that you think that they're doing so well? Or the person that you're saying are the Joneses. What are they doing that are doing so well that you think that you could do, or that you have no ability to do, and that they're doing it so well that their influence and affluence has a major effect on you? So think about that as you're talking about keeping up with the Joneses. The other thing is, consider what aspect you're trying to match or catch up with. So what are you trying to match? If you say, wow, this guy got a nice car, you said, man, he trying to keep up with the Joneses. All you have to do is find out how he got that car. Now, there's a lot of people driving around some beautiful cars that are paying $1,000 a month, and their interest rate is like 27%. So they're paying about $2,000 for a month for a car that depreciated as soon as they drove off the lot, right? So consider what aspects you're trying to match or catch up with when you're talking about keeping up with the Joneses. The third thing is, take the aspects of the Jones life that you think you're envious of and break them down into a few reality chunks. So break them down into segments. Look at one particular segment. Look at the things that you think may be important. You may think the Joneses have a wonderful relationship. Well, look at how they interact with each other. Look how they respect each other. Look how they respect each other's conversations. Look how they treat each other in public. Understand what may be going on in private, but look at those particular things. When you talk about the house that they live in, how their children have matured and aspired to greatness. Look at those particular things and break them down into chunks. Don't look at the full picture and say, I'm just trying to keep up with the Joneses. Look at those bits and pieces for which you are trying to attach your life to and keep up with the Joneses. And the fourth thing is, ponder how your obsession with keeping up with the Joneses is impacting your life. How is your obsession with keeping up with the Joneses impacting your life? Is it making you live above your means? Are you living above your means, trying to keep up with something that you haven't worked for? What's my saying? You can't withdraw what you did not deposit. And so that's what we're talking about today, keeping up with the Joneses. But what I say is that we know there's some people are going to say that my name is attached to a slave name. It's not my name. Some people came here from different countries with their names. Some people came to this country forcibly and didn't have their names. And so our names may not be what our original names may have been, but your name is your foundation. It's what you stand on. It's what people will remember you by. It's what people will say that I remember about this particular person. That's why in all my social media, everything I put on is my name. My name is Rory T. Edwards, every day, all day until the day I leave here. That's my name, Rory T. Edwards, and I stand on that. And so I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses. What I'm trying to do is outrun everybody else so that you can keep up with the Edwards. Understand what I'm saying? But it's nothing personal. I want you all to take your names. I see some people watching. Thank you very much for tuning in to my Fallback Friday, which is in addition of my Throwback Thursday. And if you go back to the beginning, you'll see why I didn't do my Throwback Thursday yesterday. But anyway, just want you to say, if you want to talk about a particular topic and you want me to sort of ponder and break it down for you, hit me up with an email at rorytedwards1@gmail.com, or hit me up on my website at www.rorytedwards.com. I was going to freshen up and shave up and do all this for the video that came from the gym, trying to stay fit, trying to fight off these things that are in the air, in the water, in the soil, trying to keep those toxins out of my body. I did a video the other day about how you can become healthy and stay healthy and live healthy also. So I want you to follow me. I want you to send me some comments. I want you to, if you're in the Las Vegas area, I want you to visit Nourish Wellness Center on the 8th. I think my daughter says they have reached capacity, but listen, if you're in the area and you want to attend an amazing event that is concentrating on women's wellness, make sure you check out my beautiful and amazing and talented daughter's organization, Nourish Wellness Center. I think it's this Saturday or Sunday, the 8th. They're gonna have a re-grand opening of the new establishment. Bigger, better, more resources, more things for women. And so that's what I'm talking about. See, we're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. We are establishing stuff for the Edwards. And so I ask you and I tell you to do the same thing for your family. And then establish those 4 particular points again. What is it? And ponder your obsession, which keeps you, that Jones is impacting your life. All right? This is your man, Rory T. Edwards. I love giving out this information. I hope that you enjoy it. Please share it, and let's talk real soon. Until then, I got to go take care of my thumb. I got to go get ready to get out in these streets and, make some changes. And hopefully, in the process of making changes, I'll also continue on my change. All right? You all be well, be blessed, and I definitely will talk to you all real soon. Word is born. All right? Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses and establish your own foundation of excellence. But how do you do that? You have to make every day in your life, there has to be something that is so uncomfortable that it makes you work past your threshold of comfortable living. All right? It's your man again, Rory T. Edwards. I'm gone. All right, you all be well, be blessed, and stay healthy and well. Be good.